Guys, I'm taking you back to my old building. Just listening to my Walkman on my headphones here. I'm gonna take them off. I'm gonna show you guys where I had pretty much quite a bit of a normal life here, considering the busyness outside didn't exist at all. This building, I had a friend of mine that lived here back in. We went to the same school. Look how many bikes are coming. Got a life, fast wipes. So this building, but I'll show you the building that I lived in. 2980 Don Mills Road, apartment 1001 on the 10th floor. Guys, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. We got to this country in June 1990. We stayed at, I'll show you the building after this one, 225 Van Horn, which is up there, Van Horn and Don Mills, just across Peanut Plaza. That building, my uncle was there, my mother's brother, my fake uncle. And apparently after a month living in that building, my uncle and my mother got into a fight. It was a fake one, an excuse to get us out of there. We went and rented a main level basement. It wasn't underground, main level, at a it's called Apache Trail. It's on Finch and Victoria Park. Another housing place, sort of housing area close to a school. As you notice, this building, the white one we're coming to, that's 2980 Don Mills. It's close to a school. Every single place I stayed in this country was close to a school to make the noise, the screams. Every single one. I'm gonna show you this one now. We stayed here we stayed at that main level basement apartment for 3 months. School started in September. We moved here last week in August. In 1990, I went to school, started grade 10 in 1990, George Fanny Secondary School, which is right across the street from 2980 Don Mills. For me to see the busyness, start to get used to the schools and the screaming, he's gonna release the brake, the bus. Listen, psh. It's a miracle. This place here didn't have a lot of business, but I'm gonna tell you the events that happened to me in this place. It was we stayed here from 1990 till 1995. In April 1995, or I guess when I graduated in June, we moved from this place to 5 Parkway Forest Drive, the one I showed you over there. Now look how they're getting the people to come out and bother me. But they don't have that many, it doesn't matter. Even if they did, it wouldn't. Anyways, so this is it, guys. 2980 Don Mills Road, apartment 1001. It was the first balcony on this side, the 10th floor. Look where it was facing. A school. This is the school that I went to. We stayed here for about 5 years almost, from 1990 to 95. Now, I'm gonna tell you the events that happened with me here. So, we move in here. It's okay at first. When I turned 16, about a year and a half, 2 years later, right away I got my license. You have to be 16 years old in this country to get your license. When I got my license, I was working, believe it or not, in those days, as a Toronto Star, I believe it was, canvasser. Canvassing is basically, you're trying to, you go with this big van to apartment buildings and you knock on door to door to try to sell the newspaper on weekends. You sell it on weekends and they get Monday to Friday for free. So the guy I used to work for was this really big, fat, nasty looking Egyptian guy with really bad breath. The reason why I'm mentioning the bad breath, because this follows me later on in life with people that I meet. That's what caused me to wake up, because I realized the same tactics were used with me in a lot of events in my life. We'll get to that later. It was a restaurant that I worked in, cash. Now they're going to start making noise here. So see, 2980 Don Mills Road. I worked last year at a restaurant for this guy, this Persian guy, and he had this really bad, terrible armpit smell. And a lot of stuff like that, like I told you, bad smells and things that disgust you, whether they're talked about, whether they're experienced, whether they're smelled, whatever it is, it's a part of the realm of keeping you miserable. So, this guy had really terrible breath. He was really fat, really big guy, Ali. And he wanted to listen, look, a chopper to bother me. Because it's louder. Can you believe that? A chopper. So anyways, look what they follow me with. She's about to follow me to make sure I look at the dog. That's the order they gave her on her phone. Make sure he sees the dog. So anyways, 10:01 right there on this side. Guess what happened when my so-called father came to visit us, because he didn't come here with us. The summer of 1992, our neighbor was a single guy, and for some reason he had a girl over that day. And if you look at the balconies, if you look at the bottom of these dividers that divide the two balconies, there's a space. There's this much space on the bottom, so you can pretty much see through the next side. This guy still, look, she sticks in my face. This guy started to have sex with this woman outside. We were sitting on the balcony. I was 16, my brother was 11. Now the dog's barking up there. We got an empty for homeless tactics over there, homeless warfare with the mattress. Anyways, so look at the noise they're making for me. They won't even allow me to tell you guys what's going on with my story. So they started to have sex right there. We were here. We could hear them. We could almost see them from on. My brother started to look under to see what's going on. My dad was outside, my mother, and both of my uncles. Now, these tactics were all done for me from when I was a kid, guys. Sex is a big thing. You have to expose the kids to sex and get them prematurely hooked on it. Whether it's seeing it, whether it's hearing about it, whether it's doing it. You guys know my story. I almost got raped when I was 8. Not almost, I did get raped. I had sex when I was 8 with a 14-year-old girl, or 12. I don't know, she was a couple years older than me. And it wasn't me that initiated. I was shaking. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, so sex is a big thing. What is that supposed to do to a human being when you're 16 years old? It's supposed to make you think a lot of bad thoughts. The place it happened, my dad used to come here only for like 3 weeks and go back to home, to Lebanon, to visit us, summertime. So the time he was here, this happened. It's supposed to put a lot of bad thoughts in your head and fantasies as a young man. It's a tactical weapon to use to keep you occupied with these things so you don't think about your future, what's really happening outside. It's a major distraction, especially to a young man who shouldn't be around something like this, who's not ready yet. All right? Anyways, that didn't just happen then. The reason why I'm telling you these things is because they're tactical. I mean, these things happen everywhere. I'm sure some people happen between, around them or whatever, but it's the time it happened and the reason. Look, they got someone to walk. So it's the reason and the time it happened. And look over there too. So anyways, look. Anyways, guys, this was the place where I grew up. Now, this guy, Ali, from the Toronto Star, he lent me his car. I was surprised to go for the night, to go to have fun with my friends. Now, my two friends that I had at those times, so-called friends, wanted to go to a strip bar. I wasn't even 17 yet. You have to be 18 or 19 to go to a strip bar here. So, I said, it wasn't my idea. I didn't really care for that much. I just wanted to go cruise, go downtown. But I said, okay, let's do it. We went and got me a fake ID. They had to get fake IDs. Apparently, they knew where, and we got them right away. That's the funny thing. All those events that happened with me that shouldn't have happened that easy, I should have realized that something was up. We went to a strip bar. So it was all this sort of everything that surrounds you when you're enslaved by this is always insinuating things to disgust you, things to turn you on, things to disappoint you, negative things about people, especially couples. So you think women are bad. You get a complex in your head, so you stop approaching good women, so you don't get a chance to build a good life and have a decent family. I guess if it's a woman, they'll do the same. They'll make give her a bad idea about men. Maybe her daughter or stepfather will, whatever, spy on her, rape her, whatever, molest her. I mean, we've heard all kinds of stories. Anyways, this building, I lived here for a while. Look. Look where they're spying on me in the parking lot. And another one comes in. So, this is the place where I borrowed the car. Now, the next morning, the reason why I told you about this car is for the following. The next morning, we went for a drive to 225 Van Horn. I'm going to take you there where my uncle used to live, because I drove my brother to school and his friend lived there. We went to pick him up to take him to school. There was this really asshole-looking old Filipino man downstairs that just pretended out of nowhere to fall on the floor when I passed by him. I didn't even touch him. He got up, started screaming. We got out of the car. I go, "What's wrong with you? We didn't even hit you." He left. He went upstairs. I dropped off my brother. I went to school right there. I used to cross the street and go to school. And look, there's a car moving in front of me over there. So, and I finished school at lunchtime. I used to come home at lunchtime because I had to cross the street only. And went upstairs. No, sorry. I came home at lunchtime. I can't talk because they're bothering me. They're all around me. I came home at lunchtime. I saw guys in the front lobby here. I'll show you. I used to get out of that door. I'll show you the exact door I used to get out of the school to come here. I'm gonna reminisce and take you back. So I'm gonna show you exactly where I was and the way I came home and what I saw down here in the lobby. There were about 15 cruisers. 15, not 10, not 5, 15. Okay? Well, it's just to show you how these guys were on my butt as soon as I got to this country. Okay? Now, come, I'm gonna give you details now. This used to be called Oreo. They had a small tennis court here where I used to play against the wall. I don't know what that's called, I forgot. I used to be a good tennis player, actually. If I was nurtured, who knows where I would have gotten. Look what they put up in front of me. Anyways, look. I used to go play tennis there. We could see right from our apartment up there pretty much everything down here. That's the main reason. It's for me to see buses pass by, cars, and screaming, and people, and kids, and busyness. And by the way, I don't know why this school had an old age kind of community here that went to class, ESL, to learn English. So my own parents can be in the school and start seeing old people around with canes and wheelchairs and loud talking and talking and talking the whole time. I'm gonna take you to exactly actually this school hasn't been renovated since then. Same wall, same everything. Since 1990 to 95 when I left here. When I graduated, I got a high school diploma with like an 85% average or something. It's funny because I never studied. George Vanier. And they had the Terry Fox run here a couple times more than they should have, because they pile up a lot of people and they walk and talk. They want you to see busyness and people. You've seen all the parties when I was young. Look. They changed the doors. They have newer doors. I used to have an art class close by here. I remember the art teacher's name, Mr. Shaw. He was fat and weird looking too. Look what they put for me over there, the broomstick, right away so I see it. Cleaning. As you see in the Truman Show, the garbage bin with the camera. It's not about filming him. It's about showing you dirty things and disgusting things everywhere you go so you stay disgusted. Anyways, I used to come out this way and go towards the building. 2 seconds. I used to spend lunchtime at home. That's the main reason why they did that. So I don't spend lunchtime in the school and get to meet people. It's more dangerous. So I used to go home. Spend my 45 minutes to an hour over there. Guys, as soon as I came out, I looked. Look what they get now, those kids to play around over there in front of me. Look. I guarantee you this trailer just parked here. Look how annoying they are. Look. Look. Guys, as soon as I got here, I looked. It was as soon as I came out, I think. I got to a place here. I was looking down and then I lifted my head up. all you see is a bunch of cop cruisers in front of the building. I was worried maybe something happened to my mother, or so I walk. I'm not gonna go close because they're annoying, these kids. I get to the lobby. I don't even go in. They're like, excuse me, are you Mr. Wissam Haddad? I go, yeah. What's going on? They were like, oh, there was a huge problem today. I go, what was the problem? They were like, you hit an old man, you injured him bad. I go, what are you talking about? We never hit anybody. Oh, I remember right away. The old man at 225 Van Horn, they said, yeah. We go, we never touched him. He just fell on the floor by himself, and then we left. He went upstairs. Everything was fine. They were like, you got to be careful, you know. Is this your car? Oh, do you have a license? I showed them my license and everything. Oh, you just got your license. Okay. So you're a new driver. I go, yeah, so what? I can still drive better than you. I had a big mouth when I was young like that. It was very offensive because of the attacks. Sorry, very defensive because of always the perpetration that was happening into my life. I didn't know the reason why I was like that. Now I know. So anyways, in the end, it was just a scare. They took off. 15 cruisers for that, guys. That was in 1992. I don't know. It was about a couple of months after I turned 16. Okay, so this is the place, 2980 Dalmas Road, where I lived between 1990 to 1995. And then we moved down to 5 Parkway Forest Drive, and then Graydon Hall, and then Rowena. I showed you guys this in the other videos. Type in on the search bar on my YouTube channel 1995, and you'll see that video. And Rowena, I showed you guys later at nighttime. I will go there in the daytime one day and show you how there's a school. All the apartment buildings we lived at, they were either by the highway or schools. So I can hear cars and noise, screaming kids and cars passing by and looking at cars move. So they slowly prepped me for the big event that started in 97. Anyways, this 225 Van Horn, that white building over there. All right. So I grew up, the Truman Show started, guys, here in this area. The real Truman Show. Peanut Plaza at the Fairview Mall, George Vanier, I was Truman, and all this area was set up. That was the studio, you could say. The small version of it. Now it's gotten huge everywhere I go. It's this trail that follows me everywhere I go. It's not a set place, the real life Truman Show, like that place. It's a moving thing that precedes me everywhere I go, so I stay within this world. Because the world is the people that are there, not the actual places, you know what I mean? That move and change. It's the people. It's their own shitty people. You get it now? The difference between the movie and real life Truman? Anyways, that's the building, and at the back of the building is where you drive in, where that event happened. So when we first came here, we stayed on an apartment, I think it was on the 14th floor, the last apartment in the corner there, where you could also hear a lot of noise, always on major streets. So I can get introduced to cars and noise. The reason why we moved into a house on Apache Trail, I'll show you guys that street, and it was quiet, I personally think is to take me to a place that feels like a house, so I never crave one. And at a time where things were not too busy around me. And we stayed there briefly, like 2-3 months, to give me a taste of it, so I don't think it's this great thing. You know what I mean? So I never in the future would want to move into a house because it's a problem for them. They can't create all that noise and busyness. Residential areas that have houses are quiet. Look, even the bikes and the engines, look. Anyways, look to where they follow me, look. Watch, they're gonna come this way now, look at them. Now we're gonna go away from them, they're gonna walk this way. I guarantee you. Look, they're already gonna start walking this way, towards us. So, this is where we used to go for the Terry Fox run and all that stuff. Anyways, that's Allenbury over there. That's where Snow is from. I think he was from Allenbury, right? The Informer song. Jim Carrey's Canadian. There's a reason why they picked a Canadian actor to play Truman in the Truman Show. Guys, I'm not proud of this. I'm talking about it. I would have loved to be anybody else but frigging Truman. It's insulting to my intelligence. All right? But unfortunately, it was illegal what was done to me. It was a perpetration into my life, brainwash, you name it. That started with my own family back in Lebanon when I was about From the time I was born till I was about 13, then we moved into this country and the stage got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the bricks for the real life Truman Show got bigger and bigger and bigger. So, this is the school that I went to for 5 years. I graduated from here. And then after this, I went to Seneca College, which is the Newnham campus on Finch and Dunn Mills. You can probably see it from here. It's right behind those buildings. See that gray building right beside the white building? That's on Finch over there. It's right beside it, Seneca College. For like 2-3 months, and for some reason I stopped going. I don't remember why. Maybe they drove me crazy in there with all the people. I was unhappy. They always did the impossible to demotivate me. Now, I had 2 jobs in that plaza. I worked at a store as soon as I got here, about 3-4 months later, which was, instead of this Hang Tao supermarket, it was called IGA back then. I remember this Greek guy owned it, and the Cyprian guy, this really fat, ugly, mean Cyprian guy, was the manager. And I worked there for a week, and he mistreated the shit out of me for a week till he made me miserable. I came home and begged my mother. I said, I'm not going anymore. Not that she ever, motivated me to work. On the opposite. She never really wanted me to work. And then after that, about a year later, I worked at Bargain Harold's, which was also inside this plaza when it was much smaller than this. And inside Bargain Harold's, same thing. I lasted 2.5-3 weeks. The guys drove me crazy. One of them stole chocolate bars. They blamed it on me and they fired me. That's exactly what happened back then. So from a young age, as you see with Truman in the movie, they're like, Truman, I want to be an astronaut. Truman goes, they're like, oh, that's already taken. That's gone. That's gone. That's gone. Because they got to demotivate you from working, because a job, you'd have to be around real people. They can't do this to you. And throughout all my life, all my family members, I remember all they do is complain about work, how tiring it is, to demotivate me from looking for a real job. But that wasn't necessary, because the right demotivation was done to me when I was young, the way I was treated. So I gave you a brief history of what happened between 90 and 94, 95. Now, look how they're falling. Now, guys, after this, tomorrow, I'll take you to 105 Rowena Drive. I took you there, if you look a couple of videos back, but it was nighttime and it was raining. It wasn't that well. Now they have 2 more balconies out there. There was only one on the 2nd floor, which was almost right on top of the lobby, where you could hear the people buzz to come in. And at the end of that street, there's a school. It's called O'Connor, a middle school. So always around school, so I can hear the screaming, the ringing, the busyness. Always, every single apartment we ever had. So the real life Truman Show, guys, it's not just Truman. As soon as he comes out, he's getting stalked by all these people and harassed. It's noise. Why would you make an environment noisy for someone? Only for one reason. What's the point of the noise campaign? Because if you're a great thinker and you're very intelligent, the only thing that can stop you is lots of noise. For you not to be able to focus, to stay in trance, always stressed out and irritated and deprived of comfort and peace and tranquility. For you not to use this great thing that God gave you, not to be able to, because you're always tired and drained. It deprives you of energy, noise, lots of it. Look. It deprives you of energy, and from the side people. A lot of couples, they're trying to stick in my face today. We're holding hands. So it deprives you of it. So this is a good area because no cars can come in here from either side. But you'll get people that come in and bounce basketballs. If I stay for a long time, they'll find a way to irritate me. Okay? So this area, IGA, is where I met my first fake friend. I never really connected with him. He was working there. I'm not going to say his name. Lebanese guy. One of the first real one I had was the Canadian guy. 6'4", blonde hair. He apparently ended up in my class, my computer class. I remember the teacher her name was Mr. Shu. And that's where I met him. And he's one of them one of the agents that worked on me and was always told how to move the whole time. But slowly, that movement, guys, where you see people move in front of me now, like the usual Truman Show movement, real life Truman Show movement, that didn't take effect. Even my own family wasn't doing it to me that much until 1996, 97. That wasn't there earlier on. Now they're gonna start making noise because I'm not looking at anybody move. See, listen, hear the noise? Look to where they follow me. You see how much of a bunch of punks they are? They're doing their best to provoke me. This isn't an intelligence agency, a professional agency in a country. This is a punk agency with a bunch of punk people. They can't even get guys that are over 15 years old. Look to where they follow me with the dogs. Look. This is a pathetic agency. I have nothing to fear. Look who I'm dealing with. Anyways, let's ignore them. They're a bunch of losers. This is pretty much where was the last phase of my life where I had peace. Now, in 5 Parkway Forest Drive was the uphill, where I had it all, the sports car, you know, a couple of girls, you know, the main one, traveled, I got everything taken care of, didn't work. Anyways, after that, before I moved into, as soon as we moved into Graydon Hall, actually, Parkway Forest in 95 when I got my Trans Am, I worked at this clothing store in the mall. It's called International Clothers. I don't know what they did back then to the mall to make it keep moving, but back then the movement wasn't much either. It started just after that, probably about a year after that. I lasted 2 months in that job. I couldn't take it. It was a lot of, you guys don't know, if you put yourself in my situation and this busyness, this madness that happens around you, all this was set up. When I left that place, about a couple months later, I split with that girl and I wanted to work security in the mall. And I told you about that, what happened. They hired me, told me to go get the uniform. And then the next day, they called me back and said, you need experience. After I got the uniform. So they've done the impossible to throw me off. I said, okay, I'll go get experience. I worked for Burns International, the security company I worked for. It was in 1996. Where did they put me? I showed you guys in another video the other day, 225 Consumers Road, 250 Consumers Road, a complex of 4 business buildings there. And they specifically gave me the afternoon shift. They know I wasn't going to do the night shift. So I did the afternoon shift. I was working out back then, you know, took a little bit of steroids. I got really big, but there were no people around me. So I'm cut off from the world. Basically, the offices, I walk around, make sure there's no fire, nothing's burning, whatever, the security patrols. But when everyone's gone home, they wouldn't give me the busy one. But what the hell did I know back then? I didn't know about the conspiracy waged against me. Anyways. So after this, I just wanted to show you Peanut, the school that I went to, and the events that I went through in those years. So, every single building, even the building over there, 225 Van Horn, you could see the schools if you got out on the balcony and see the movement and the people. They always picked very high apartments, specifically for me to go out on the balcony and see. And I remember my so-called mother used to always annoy me inside the house to drive me to the balcony so I can look out and see things moving. Cars going back and forth, people, 2 by the highway over there, here every single one by school so I can hear the noise. So that was the preparation for the noise. And the point of it right now, why do a noise campaign to begin with? What the noise campaign is all about? Why? Why is there a noise campaign? It's for someone as a thinker, someone really intelligent, not to be able to think. So you don't eventually realize that you're in a prison. They don't want you to think. So the people are still there. God knows what they're doing over there. What are they doing there? What are they doing? Tell me what these 3 are doing over there. So, anyways. So as soon as I get up, this punk passes by. Look. Anyways, let's ignore them. They're a bunch of losers, just like the people who hired them. And they get people pass by in case I come out. And we get a brake release from the bus over there. Did you hear it? Psh! About 10 seconds ago. Anyways. And they put someone really far away. And I start here to hear screams. I'm going to start to hear screaming. Anyways, so it was okay here. It wasn't that busy. It wasn't even like this. It wasn't even close. Because I would have gotten annoyed. I was very young. They wanted to nail me slowly, lay the bricks of my prison slowly but surely. And my own so-called family, the uncles, the mother, they got a free ticket of me to come to the so-called free world from a country full of war. That's how they were able to come here. They rode on me. I was the vessel used for them to get the citizenship and come to these countries. A lot of people. My aunt on my father's side, my mother, two of her brothers. On the other side, the other family went to Australia. In case I would think in the future not to leave Canada and go to Australia. That way I'd have a big family there, so I don't go meet strangers and come out of my prison. Because all these people were prepped into this realm to do the movement for me, you know. So anyways, let's see here. I told you about that. Now later on I'll tell you about what happened when I really went downhill. So if you see how it correlates with the Truman Show, when the movie was written and when it was produced, I fell into my huge depression, I told you, in Rowena. In 1996, I got stripped away of everything. By 1997, I was way downhill. The movie was produced in 98. That means that's it. The guy's actually enslaved and imprisoned. He can't come out of it. Look what they do here to throw me off. They pick up things like that and throw them. People that got in here, most likely those fake couple over there or whatever, these dumb people that are running. Now, see, the good thing about this stalking thing, I could stop it, but I'd go to jail. Basically what I'll do is I'll grab a woman, not a man, a woman. I know, because it's more violent. And I'll break every bone in her body. They'll come and arrest me. I'll go to jail for assault about a year or whatever, and I'll come out. But when I come out, nobody will come close to me anymore. They won't. You put your mark, you put your foot down. But the problem with that, I don't want to spend a year or two in jail. And if I knew it was going to take this long, I would rather take the jail. Because some of these people deserve every bone broken in their bodies. Not all, some. Because that's the goal from this. I picked it up right away. The goal is to provoke you so you can beat them up and go to jail. Anyways, I used to come out here and have smokes. The art class that I had, actually, it wasn't close to that door. I just remembered now, it was exactly this class. That's the art class. It was Mr. Shaw, 1994. Actually, it was OAC, which is grade 13 here in Canada. They had OAC. I got like 4 OAC credits, or 6, I think. This was. We used to come out here for smokes. That one over there, I used to go straight. It's just to come out and get to my house. What else? So guys, all this was put here. It's amazing what they do, these guys. Every place that I'm about to get to, they're trained to ruin it for me. The same people that you see stop there are the ones that did all this before I got here. Now this could be from before. Doesn't have to be now. But the dirt, the McDonald's bag, all that stuff, all the stuff they put it as to throw you off, to disgust you. You know what I mean? In this country, guys, you don't see things like this. People are not pigs. They don't throw things. Those are done intentionally to make someone's life a miserable nightmare. Everywhere you go, there's dirt and ugly things to look at. Not beautiful things, not nature. Just ugly cars in front of you everywhere parked. Objects, and people moving. It depresses you. Because why? Because there's something blocking you. It's meant to block you. It's meant to be obstacles put in front of you and you're on your way, so you don't move forward. Because you're very strong and you're super fast. They're afraid of you. So they're trying to slow you down. But they did it so hard on me, so strong, that they actually threw me right off my feet and fell to the ground. And then my own family did the work on me there and introduced me to drugs, my brother, and drained me way down. That's what happened to the real Truman, guys. And as you hear the kid screams that we hear in different areas, they're all the same type of screams. The same type. These little girls going out of nowhere. These really high-pitched, loud scream. It's the same scream. Now I'm realizing it because I'm going to these different areas. Same scream. Now there's a noise coming in from inside the school. Listen. Cleaning and banging. So they got into the school even on a Sunday to make noise. I'm surprised there's nobody in it. Man, it's been so long. I remember this place. Not much has changed on the inside, guys. Maybe the color of the doors, that's it. It's still pretty much the same. See, hear that? It's like a fridge that turned on. There are lights. The lights are on upstairs. Look, who got into the school on a Sunday? Watch, I'm not surprised if you see a janitor come by with the broomstick. Because if there wasn't anybody inside, they wouldn't have put this broomstick right here in my way, in my view. Remember which one? Is it this door? No, it's the other door. So, this was the building, 2980 Dalmos. We stayed here for about 4.5, 5 years. After that, Parkway Forest, I showed you the other day. After that, Graydon Hall. After that, Rowena. After Rowena, I actually traveled, and my mother went back to Lebanon. I sent her back there. My brother, God knows where he was, partying here. And then when she came back, we moved to a place that was called Wakunda. It's on Wakanda. It's on O'Connor Drive in Victoria Park. That's when we started to live, in Victoria Park after Del Mills, because Victoria Park is the sort of the lower budget side than Del Mills, and there's not that many things on it. And Fairview Mall is further there. They wanted to push me further from a place full of people, so I don't jump in there fast one day and see it different, all calm and quiet. Because they have to replace the people there and get the other people in so they can talk and scream and make it hypey. They have to create that fake world for me before I get in. How would they do that? You get it? That's how it works. So basically, they had to know exactly where I was the whole time. The exact location, wherever I was. Talk about invasion of privacy. That's the reason why I called my channel Invasion of Privacy. The exact place where I was the whole time. And how could they read your mind? Guys, when you get up and search on the internet, you're not talking, you're not saying anything to anybody. If you're not stopped by them and they're watching your searches, what do you think they're doing? They're actually reading your mind. Because you're thinking certain thoughts and you're searching about the thoughts that you're thinking about. That's actually reading your mind. Same thing. That's how they knew what I was thinking, what I searched for, what I liked, what I didn't like. See, now they start to walk that way, those people over there, because I start heading this way. Now we turn. Now you're going to see these people walk that way. For me to see something here. There's a bus waiting. Stop there. As soon as I got here, started moving. Look, he's been there the whole time. Did you hear any bus come? He was stopped there the whole time. Anyways, because it's where I look that they move. That's how this works. Now, I got a laser surgery, a correctional eye laser surgery in 1995. See, as soon as I look that way, these people walk the bike past. Whether they inserted a microchip in there or not, I don't know. I know the exact place where I've done it and who did it for me. And I had the left one done in 2002. I don't know what they put in it back then, but that's when I had the second one done. So, anyways, pretty much in those years, what happened is not much really. Everything was quiet. Everything was still subtle back in those times. So it was right at that crucial point where I was, yeah.
My friend, can I use your lighter, please? Thank you, sir.
So they send you to bring in the dogs. They send you a message. They tell you, go take your dogs and ask them for a lighter. So you can stop me for. Yes, they did.
Yes. Sorry,
okay, good. At least admit it, man.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Now
Now you're going to take 10 hours and talk my ears off.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, it's not your fault. You're a human being. It's the assholes that sent you. that I don't like. It's not you people. You guys are people like me and you. But it's the pricks. You know? Because they're the real dogs. You know that, right? Yeah. Take care, bro. ¿Tú hablas español, no? ¿De dónde eres? ¿Dónde? Colombia, ¿dónde? ¿Qué provincia? Yo viví en Medellín. La 40, La Aurelia, El Poblado. Yo conozco todo Medellín, chico. This guy's Colombian. He lived in Medellin. I lived in Medellin in 1999. I was about to get to that topic for you. Yeah, that's when I left Rowena. I told you we left that apartment. 97, 98, and 99, which brought me to Medellin project, which I was pretty pissed off because I had photos on me just till about 2 months ago. I sold a laptop and I had everything in there and I don't have them anymore. And I saved those photos from 1999 till today, almost 20 years, and look when I lost them 2 months ago. It was this island, this special, anyways. I was making websites at that time. I was making money here. I told you, I started designing websites as soon as I got to Rowena because nobody would hire me. This Arabic Lebanese girl at this ISP where I was hosting my websites, I remember even her name. Her first name was Lena. I'm not going to say her last name on YouTube. For some reason, she ended up being there when I called. You guys see the coincidences? She tells me one day, I have these 2 customers. They want an expert in websites and photos. I see from your websites what you do. And they're looking to do a project in Colombia, Medellin. They're going to go down and start up a paradise island. A small island, man. I had photos of the island too, everything. I would have showed you guys, but too bad. Maybe I'll find them somewhere. I do have some old films that I have to develop of not the island, the house in Medellin, the house we were filming at. Tons of photos I had and videos. Anyways, I said, okay, what the hell? I had nothing to lose. So we went there in 99. They took us to this island off the coast of Colombia, not Barranquilla, but close by there. And with like 20 supermodels or something, Colombian supermodels. We're supposed to take photos. I remember I had to do the website for them. It was called Expose Club. The guy who was running the project, he was this Persian guy. He used to go by the name Paul. I'm not going to mention his real name. And this other guy, older, white man, English, his first name was Larry. Those 2 were running the project and apparently financing it with the help of Colombians. Now I realize it was the government financing all of this. Why? Guys, you know what they tried to do to me? Put me on an island with a bunch of Colombian, well, the supermodels came for the photo shoot, but who knows what kind of raunchy hookers I would have ended up with on that island. They wanted to put me on an island in Colombia away from everything. They were trying to excite me into making the websites for something like that because my websites in Toronto was really successful. I was very talented. So they tried to lure me into that project. I went down there. We spent a week on the island and a week in Medellin. And then we came back. And then the second trip, because it didn't really click into my head, I didn't really do the website much. I just did the website like quickly. I didn't even put energy into it. I didn't give it a lot of, like. It didn't work. Because I'm not about women and spending my life on a frigging island, sniffing cocaine and getting laid all day long. Then what are you going to do? You do that for a week, then you get bored out of your mind. Anyways, after that, 3-4 weeks, I think it was about a month later, they came up with this other idea. That this time they don't want to go to the island. They need more photos. They want to go to the house in Medellin, in a really rich area. It's called El Poblado. This is the best area in Medellin. The rich people live there. It's like the Beverly Hills of Medellin. And you should see the kind of women they brought into that house. Guys, porn stars ain't got nothing on them. Colombian women are beautiful because they're very mixed. They have everything in them. Most of them are like light skinned. This doesn't matter what you like, but they're very beautiful. There's all kinds. Busty, skinny, whatever, you name it. They're usually beautiful women, they're known. They're very curvy. Anyways, they had like about 70 of them. So we shot photos and, oh man, I wanted to show you those photos, God, just to justify this, but it don't matter anyways. 3 weeks. maybe they thought if they would bring in different kind of women, I'd be lured into staying there. Guys, it didn't work either. I didn't care. I wanted to leave, come back to Toronto. I met a girl down there that I clicked with, and she was a lawyer. She was 25 years old. I was about same age back then. No, she was older than me though. It's weird. So if I was 25 almost in 99, 2000, she was about, I don't remember, guys. I even remember her last name. I'll tell you, because Colombians have two last names. Sandra. Arcila Jimenez. They were the two last names she had. Anyways, this girl was a lawyer, studying to be a lawyer, and she had a visa to the States that they gave her. She had to go pick it up from Bogota, the capital. And she said to me, I want to come to Canada. I go, well, look, since you got a visa to the States, you want to latch on to me? I can take you there. And we'll go to the States, and you can just go through the border and apply for refugee. If you want to come into Canada, they'll give it to you because you have a visa to the States. All you have to be is on the ground in the States and then cross the border and say you want to apply for refugee. She liked the idea. Took a plane to Miami, took a bus all the way from Miami, those Greyhound buses. We stopped at all the places on the way up to Buffalo, New York. She had to stay there in a motel for a couple of days. I came back here to Toronto, did my things, whatever, and then she got in. She stayed here for like 6 months. Then she gave up. She goes, no, I have my son in Colombia. I want to go back. She went back. That was just after 9/11. I remember, no, sorry, just before 9/11. Because she was here, and I remember a couple months later, my dad came from Lebanon. We were staying at this Wakunda place on O'Connor and Victoria Park. And 9/11 happened when my father was here. Because we were in